Hello, fellow adventurers. So, it's been quite, what do I want to say, active couple of months here for us. So, there's been a lot going on. So, I haven't had a whole lot of updates. But there's about a lot of big things that are just about to happen too. So, I've got a little project that I'm going to work on today. I'll take you through that project and then maybe tease a little bit of some of the big things that are going to be happening in the future. So, yesterday, Kate and I ran out and we're trying to figure out our move thing that's going on, and was looking on Facebook Marketplace and came across a trailer. So now we're the proud owners of 16-foot gooseneck horse trailer. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty excited about that. The one thing that I don't like is if we look over here, back by my into my truck over there, you can see that the gooseneck, when the gooseneck is in the bed of the truck, there's just a little bit of space between the bottom of that metal and the bed of my truck. So if I end up on something where the trailer's moving down a little bit, I can actually catch the corners of the back of my bed. So we need to do a little bit of a modification. One thing I got a ball for the gooseneck that sits up an inch higher. That seems to help out, but the real problem is the tires over here. So when you look at the trailer and it's hooked up, it's at a slant like this. One of the things that I can do is the axles for the tires run across the top of the leaf springs. And you can take it and you can flip that and put it underneath the leaf springs and give me some lift. And I think that's going to give me enough lift that I'll have plenty of clearance. When I'm on a flat road with a 1-inch kick up on the gooseneck ball, I feel pretty good about driving. It's just when things are a little bit twisty right now, with it being that low in the back, that angle, it's like gonna try to catch the corners of the ends of my bed. So that's gonna be the plan there, is we're gonna flip the axles, get them underneath the leaf springs. That's what I'm gonna try to walk you through today, and we'll see if that gives me enough clearance for the gooseneck to make this a good trailer for us to use. So let's get on it. All right, so task number one is going to be get that puppy raised up so I can get underneath the wheels there. So going to need to go inside and get my open up the garage, get my jack out and some jack stands, and see if we can get this up off the ground high enough that I can get those wheels loose. Probably need to start priming the air compressor also to help me bust all those nuts off of here. So as far as I understand, what the title says is this is a 1976 Tuffy. So I believe Tuffy manufacturing out of Oklahoma does not exist anymore, and this trailer is nearly as old as I am. So that lets you know how old I am. It's pretty close. It's as old as my younger brother is. So yeah, it's standing up pretty well for the test of time. It's doing pretty good. So we'll do a walkthrough a little bit later, but right now I need to get that jacked up. Alright, so I've got the tires off at this point. You can tell things are a little bit rusty down here. Things I'm seeing that I'm a little bit concerned about is these little ties right here. Seem to be oblonged out a little bit, so I'm going to have to get some replacement parts for that. But you can see, if I come back here, maybe you can see it. Let's see, swap the camera around there. How you can see there how the axle is sitting on top of the leaf spring. So the goal with this is going to be to take and swap that to the other side. So I've got mounts that are going to help with all of that. And then ideally once I get it swapped to the other side, that'll give me, you know, the leaf spring plus half the width of the axle, I think, in additional height. It's probably going to be a good 4 to 6 inches of height. Once I get that over there, I'll need to tack it in. So I've got another set of U-bolts. I got new hardware because I'm a bit afraid to reuse this hardware. I have no idea how old it is, and it'd just be safer to put new hardware on there and give her a go. So hoping that gives me a lot more lift. I should have measured before I started in on all this, but yeah, we're a little bit past that point now. So one thing I am noticing is I can't find my other set of jacks. So problem with living both here and on the homestead is I think I've only got 2 jack stands here. I think my other set of jack stands is out at the homestead. So I'm going to have to go get me another set of jack stands. Evening is closing in, and I have managed to finish this project. So super excited about that. I wasn't really sure. So it was getting kind of dicey there at one point in time where I was like, oh, have I made a really bad decision? Because we got this trailer and we were driving out and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get it. And we went around a corner and it rested a little bit on the side of the bed of my truck, that gooseneck did. And I was wondering, did I make the wrong decision? And then I watched those videos online, folks flipping their axles, going from a over the spring to an under the spring, and I'm like, oh, that's the solution. And was very happy. And then I went under there and started working on it, and I was not so happy. So the whole figuring out that things were welded together really kind of put a damper on things, but persevered. Ended up with, I think it was maybe $150 in for my initial parts to flip them from over to under mount, and then with having to do some work on the springs, since I needed to take the springs off and essentially the parts were welded on, I had to replace parts, and I ended up with another maybe $100, $150 worth of parts to take care of that, which is good because they kind of needed replacing anyway. So, you know, it's a wash. It probably needed to be done. So I can't feel too bad about that. At least I'm not getting rid of, you know, stuff that was just done. So, all said, probably about $300 in parts in. Had to buy some new tools because I was missing some tools. So reciprocating saw. I had to get a new angle cutter or grinder. I had to get a smaller grinder. I had to get a new one. I went through a lot of bimetal blades, trying to cut all of those off of there. I had to get a couple of new sockets, like a 22 inch, I think I was missing. I had a short 22, but I needed a longer 22, and a couple of miscellaneous things here and there, but in the end it's all done. So let me spin it around and let's take a look at it. There we go in all of its glory. Now, I didn't take measurements at the start, but the fenders that were there sat almost directly right over the tires, so there wasn't really a gap between the tire and the kind of the bend where the fender came down. It rode right about on there. Now there's about 9 inches between the top of the tire and where the lip of that fender is. So I'm guessing I got a good 8-inch raise out of that. So that's pretty good. And you can see it sits, when it's sitting level, it's much higher compared to the truck than we were at before. So super excited about this. I think the other people in the neighborhood are wondering why the hell this guy got a horse trailer living in the middle of suburbia. But that's part of the next episode that we'll be having. We'll be showing a little bit about why we got a horse trailer and what we may need something like this for more here in the near future. So that's it for now. I'm bushed after a day working on there and crawling underneath, and time for me to call it an evening. I hope you guys are having a good one. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and click the little like button. Help me get excited about making more videos and do a few more projects.